The world is loud. Everyone is speaking. Everyone is reacting. Everyone wants to be seen, heard, and validated. In this noise, people believe that power belongs to the one who talks the most, reacts the fastest, and explains the loudest. But history never rewarded noise. History rewarded control. And control has always belonged to those who understood silence. Machiavelli lived in a time where one wrong sentence could end a life, where speaking too early meant exile, betrayal, or execution. He observed rulers, traitors, generals, and kings, and one truth became clear to him. The most dangerous people were never the loud ones. They were the quiet ones, the ones who listened more than they spoke, the ones who revealed nothing and understood everything. Silence creates discomfort. When you stop speaking, the other person starts filling the gap with their own thoughts. They begin to wonder what you know, what you are hiding, what you are planning. Silence forces people to confront uncertainty, and human beings hate uncertainty. Machiavelli understood that fear is born from the unknown, and silence keeps the unknown alive. A man who speaks too much removes all mystery. A man who stays silent becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability is power. Weak people explain themselves. They justify their actions. They rush to defend their intentions. They fear being misunderstood, so they talk more. But every explanation gives others a weapon. Every word can be twisted, questioned, or used against you. Power does not beg to be understood. Power acts and lets time justify it. Machiavelli believed that once you explain yourself, you place yourself beneath the judgment of others. Silence denies them that privilege. Most people expose themselves without realizing it. In casual conversations, arguments, jokes, and emotional moments, they reveal their fears, desires, insecurities, and limits. The silent observer absorbs all of it. He collects information while giving none. Information is leverage. The one who knows more always has the advantage over the one who talks more. Silence is not emptiness, it is storage. Reaction is one of the greatest traps of power. When someone provokes you and you react instantly, they control your emotional state. Your anger becomes their victory. Your defense becomes their validation. Machiavelli admired those who could remain silent under insult, not because they lacked courage, but because they understood timing. Silence delays conflict until the conditions are favorable. Reaction hands control to the enemy. Silence takes it back. There is a reason calm people dominate chaotic rooms. Silence in chaos signals preparation. It signals confidence. It signals that you are not operating on emotion, but calculation. People fear what they cannot read. Loud emotions are easy to predict. Silence is not. A silent man in a tense situation appears dangerous because no one knows where his limits are. That uncertainty gives him authority without effort. Reputation is built not only by action, but by absence. When people know too much about you, they stop respecting you. Familiarity breeds contempt. Machiavelli understood that mystery protects power. Silence preserves mystery. When you speak only when necessary, every word carries weight. When you speak constantly, words lose value. Silence trains others to listen when you finally decide to speak. Conflict feeds on attention. Arguments survive because both sides participate. Silence starves conflict. When one side refuses to engage, the other is forced to face their own ego. Many battles are won by simply not fighting them. Machiavelli never wasted energy on pointless confrontations. He allowed enemies to expose themselves through anger and impatience, while he remained composed and observant. Silence is also survival. In courts, workplaces, relationships, and power structures, those who reveal too much become targets. The quiet ones move unnoticed. They adapt. They wait. They strike only when success is certain. Loud men announce their intentions. Silent men execute them. There is a difference between being silent out of fear and being silent out of control. Strategic silence is a choice. It is the ability to speak and choosing not to. It is restraint, not weakness. Machiavelli never glorified silence as morality. He valued it as utility. Silence was a tool, just like deception, patience, and timing. When silence is intentional, it becomes a message. No response. No explanation, no reaction, just absence. That absence forces others to question themselves. It unsettles them. People respect what they cannot provoke. Silence tells the world that you are not easily moved. The loud may dominate moments, but the silent dominate outcomes. Noise fades. Silence remains. History remembers those who controlled situations, not those who argued inside them. Silence gives time. Time gives options. Options give power. Those who master silence never need to announce their strength. It is felt before it is seen. And once you understand this, you realize that silence does not lose. Silence waits. And waiting in Machiavelli's world is how power survives. The second lesson Machiavelli would teach about silence is that it is not passive. It is aggressive in a way that cannot be traced. Loud power announces itself and invites resistance. Silent power moves without resistance because no one sees it coming. When you remain silent, people underestimate you. They assume you are harmless, unsure, or lacking authority. This is exactly what makes silence dangerous. Underestimation is the greatest advantage in any power game. Silence allows manipulation without fingerprints. When you speak less, others speak more. They reveal their intentions, their alliances, their fears. They tell you who they trust and who they resent. You never have to interrogate anyone. Human beings cannot tolerate silence for long. They fill it with truth, exaggeration, or confession. In that moment, silence becomes a psychological trap. Machiavelli understood that the best way to control people is to let them believe they are in control of the conversation. There is a point where silence begins to feel like dominance, not because of intimidation, but because of emotional control. When others raise their voices, demand explanations, or push for reactions, and you remain calm and quiet, the power dynamic shifts. They start seeking your approval. They begin adjusting their tone. Silence quietly forces hierarchy without declaring it. Breaking silence too early is a mistake. Speaking when emotions are high creates permanent damage. Words spoken in anger cannot be taken back. Machiavelli believed timing mattered more than truth. Silence buys time. Time allows emotions to settle and reality to surface. The one who waits gains clarity. The one who rushes loses leverage. In relationships, silence exposes intentions. When you stop chasing, explaining, or reassuring, the other person shows their true priorities. People reveal how much they value you when you remove constant availability. Silence creates space, and space reveals truth. Machiavelli would see emotional overexposure as weakness. Control, even in affection, preserves respect. Enemies fear silence more than threats. A threat gives them something to prepare for. Silence gives them nothing. They imagine worst-case scenarios. They overthink. They exhaust themselves planning against possibilities that may never come. Silence forces your opponent to fight shadows. Many wars are won before the first move simply because the enemy loses confidence. There comes a moment when silence must be broken. Machiavelli was clear about this. Silence is powerful only when followed by decisive action. When you speak after a long silence, your words must end uncertainty, not prolong it. This is why leaders speak rarely but firmly. When silence ends, it should feel final. Silence also protects you from regret. Most people regret what they said, not what they didn't say. Words create commitments. Silence preserves flexibility. Machiavelli valued adaptability above consistency. Silence allows you to change direction without explanation. It keeps options open. People mistake silence for kindness or weakness until it is too late. By the time they realize its strength, the outcome is already decided. Silence is not meant to be understood. It is meant to be effective. In the end, silence wins because it aligns with reality. Reality does not explain itself. It simply happens. Those who understand this stop seeking validation and start shaping outcomes. Machiavelli did not teach people to be moral. He taught them to be effective, and effectiveness often speaks in silence. The loud may attract attention, but the silent control the future. Silence does not rush. Silence does not panic. Silence waits for the right moment, and when it moves, it leaves no room for response.